Hey guys, my name is Logan Buckner, and I'm a second year Master of Occupational Therapy student at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis, Tennessee. And first off, I want to thank you for watching my in-service video. This is our last week to our Road to Practitioner series videos. Today I'm going to be talking about serving as a level 1 fieldwork educator as a newly graduated OT. I know that might be a scary thing to think about right now. We're still in school, and you're thinking, how could I possibly teach someone else something when I'm newly in the field and I'm still trying to figure everything out for myself? But don't worry, I think I'm going to help you out here and kind of give you some resources and some knowledge that might help you maybe change your mind to whether or not you would take a fieldwork student right out of OT school. So I want to identify two learning objectives that we're going to cover for this video. The first one being I want you to be able to identify the criteria to take a level 1 fieldwork student. And then our second learning objective is I want you to be able to identify 2 ways to enhance the learning of your fieldwork students. So I want to start off by talking about the purpose of a level 1 fieldwork. So I know a lot of us think about level 1 fieldwork is observation. We're just going in, mostly watching what the OT is doing. And then level 2 fieldwork, we always think about, oh, that's more of our hands-on stuff. Okay, so the AOTA standard describes the goal of level 1 fieldwork to introduce students to the fieldwork experience and develop a basic comfort level with an understanding of the needs of the client. And it is intended to develop independent performance, but to include experiences designed to enrich your didactic coursework through directed observation and participation in selected aspects of the occupational therapy process. Okay, so I want to just highlight the areas there that says directed observation. So we are right when we think about it mostly being observation, but it also says participation in selected aspects of the occupational therapy process. So this is really going to be individualized based on where you go for your fieldwork. What are their objectives and what are their goals for you coming in as a level 1 fieldwork student? So all that's going to be individualized. So each fieldwork site is going to have their own objective. So it's going to vary, and it's going to vary based on the site and the setting that you go to. And they're going to provide information regarding the specific coursework that you should be getting and provide objectives for the experience that they want you to be getting. And then they're also going to balance those off of the resources that they have to provide for you as well. Okay, so we want to talk about also who can be a level 1 fieldwork educator. I know a lot of people, especially on our first one, our pediatric rotation that we went to, not everybody was with an occupational therapist. So according to AOTA, qualified personnel for supervision of level 1 fieldwork can include occupational therapy practitioners initially certified nationally, so that'll be us as soon as we graduate, psychologists, physician assistants, teachers, like some people went to the school system, social workers, nurses, physical therapists, and social workers, etc. So it's not just limited to those people. They also state that the supervisors must be knowledgeable about the occupational therapy and cognizant of the goals and objectives of the level field work experience. So they have to know what the goals are that are set by the institution, and then about the OT process in general. So they want you to know what is this student coming here to learn? What is their objective? What are things they need to be looking out for in learning? So that's really your qualifications to be a level 1 fieldwork educator. So I know a lot of us seen this when we were on our level 1 fieldwork, and especially for pediatrics in the school system, you could have been with a lot of teachers, and maybe even OTAs. I think a few of us were with them. Okay, so for our second learning objective, we're talking about how can we enhance the learning experience of our students. So let's think back to our forms that we had to fill out for our fieldwork educators, and they had to fill out our evaluation for us. At the very top, it had it asked if they had gone through this fieldwork educator certificate workshop. It was either yes or no. It's not an actual requirement to be a level 1 fieldwork educator, but AOTA offers this workshop, and it's a 2-day training course, and they hold it across the country. So you really have to go to their website, check in to see where they're going to hold it for the year, or different times of the year when they're going to hold it, and then it's $225 for the training course if you're an AOTA member. So there's an incentive to continue paying for that membership on top of all the other great things that you get from AOTA. And then it also tells you on their site like what you get out of that training course. So it gives you a deeper understanding of your role as a fieldwork educator. It gives you effective strategies to integrate learning theories and supervision models, increase skills to provide high quality educational opportunities during their fieldwork experience, interaction with trainers through dialogue and reflection about fieldwork, and then you engage in 4 curricular models. So you go through administration, education, supervision, and then the evaluation of the fieldwork student. Analysis of strategies to support best practice in fieldwork education. And then the icing on top of the cake, which kind of probably pushes everybody over the edge to go ahead and take that course, is it gives them continuing education credit. So it gives you 15 contact hours towards your licensure renewal. So boom, there's your cherry on top of the cake to go ahead and push you to go ahead and get that certificate as well. So it's not required to have that, but I think that gives some fieldwork educators kind of like a little more motivation or encouragement to go ahead and take on level 1 fieldwork students, or just fieldwork students in general, because it just helps them be more comfortable in knowing what to do when they do get a student. So, and then they have it broken down in the site, like what to do, how to do it, and all the things to become a fieldwork educator. All right, so right now, I want you to think about your level 1 fieldwork experience. And I want you to think about, all right, so go ahead and get out a piece of paper. I'm gonna give you just a few seconds. Get out a piece of paper and a pen. That way you can write some of these answers, these questions down. Okay, I'm gonna give you just a few minutes. Okay. If you need to pause the video to go ahead and get some, that's fine. But I'm just going to go ahead and continue. All right. I want you to think about what helped you the most during your level 1 fieldwork experience. Okay. So what did your fieldwork educator do to help promote your learning? And then what do you wish you had more of during your experience? Okay. So go ahead and write those down, some things that you had that helped you and kind of promoted your learning. What did your level 1 fieldwork educator do to kind of give you that extra boost that maybe they went above and beyond their way somehow to kind of give you like a 1-up during your experience? So just kind of write that down. That way you'll remember it in the future. So for me, for my level 1 fieldwork experience, so for my very first one, I was at a pediatric hospital, and my fieldwork educator actually gave me a packet, and it was an observation packet. It's 4 pages long per client that we seen, and she had me fill out each one of the sections. So it was broken down all the way from head to toe, what I seen of the client, um, cognition, just a bunch of different categories. And some of it didn't even relate. And then the very last question was like, what is the diagnosis? And for several of the clients, she wouldn't even tell me what the diagnosis was. She wanted me to, from based on my observations, she wanted me to take an educated guess. And then we would go back over after the session was over, and we would discuss what I seen versus what she sees. And that gave an amazing perspective because you got two different people giving their perspectives on one single client. And that helped me out more than anything, I think, for my level one fieldwork experience. And then we all had two virtual level one experiences, and we got to go through so many different things from the OT process all the way down to referrals, SOAP notes, the whole thing. And I think that gave us even just more experience for going into level two fieldwork, because I think that went above and beyond just about any level one fieldwork that you're going to get in person. So I was very grateful for that. I know a lot of other people were as well. So I would keep that in mind when taking on students as well, giving them that option, or just maybe just letting them do one on a student, like a SOAP note, writing it on it, and just having you look over it, and then you can critique it, give them advice on it, because at that point you don't have a lot of experience in doing a lot of that stuff. So I think that helps a lot. And then I want you to also think about what setting you might be working in the future, and how could you enhance the learning of a level one fieldwork student in that setting. So, if you're going to work in a hospital setting, we did one line transfer back in our first year of school. So think about how you might handle like that. Like maybe you get more experience in something along the lines of that, or something you don't get a lot of, to just help them be more comfortable in it. And anything that might be specific to your setting, because you never know, they might also really want to go to that setting, and that could just give them a boost or a push into going into that setting as well. So I want to ask you now, if you said no, like if you said I would not take a level one student right out of school, there's no way, I wouldn't be comfortable with all of this information, would you change your mind? Would you be more comfortable in taking a student as a new grad now? I mean, you could be the difference maker for that student, because you have the most up-to-date knowledge. You're fresh out of school. You know what it's like to be in that situation. It's fresh on your mind. You know what you wanted, maybe what you wanted more of, and you could bring that to those students. So I encourage you to go ahead and take students as early as possible, and then to keep on taking them as you go down the road. So I think it's very important that we serve as fieldwork educators, because somebody had to do it for us, and I think it is our job to return the favor on down the road, just like a progression system, just to keep going. So I'm going to attach the sites where I found all this information. It's mostly all on ALTA, but I'm going to attach the exact links in my reference list. That way you'll have them for future reference. So when you start taking your fieldwork students, you can go back and refer to it, see what the criteria is, what are the objectives, and then it'll just give you a guide to go down through and take fieldwork students. I want to thank you again for taking the time to watch this. I hope you found it very helpful, and hope y'all enjoyed it.